It is now October the 23rd, 2018. It's a Tuesday, about 8:25 in the morning, and I am still in Indiana, Terre Haute, Indiana to be exact, even though the Cover Bridge Festival ended 2 days ago. Big reason for that was the truck is acting up. Brakes are grinding terribly. And which is really bad because when I was down in Florida, I had the brakes serviced, pads replaced, all that kind of stuff. I think it was back in February, so 8 months, and now they're grinding again. I don't know. I'm really hoping it's not going to be something serious, but that's the situation right now. I'm out here in front of Don's service center. Gonna go in and get myself an estimate. Alright, they've had a chance to look at it, and we've got some bad news. Is that the side that's grinding?
Yeah, it's grinding up on the inside edge.
Alright, let me take a look.
And if you look at your outside edge right here is good. Your inside edge.
The rotor?
Yeah,
it's going to have to be replaced.
Yeah, and you see this.
And the pads.
Yeah,
right.
And you see this discoloration here? How this is kind of maroon red?
Right.
Okay, that's because it absorbs so much heat because this caliper and the hose are seized.
Alright, so there was a defect in the caliper and hose.
Yeah.
This is the caliper here. I can turn it on this way. Okay. Okay, you can kind of see it there. See all the roughness there. Okay. And
your rear brakes are still pretty decent.
Okay.
On the back end.
So the rear are drum though, aren't they?
Yeah, you got a drum set up on the back end.
So they're all right.
Yeah, right now we got this rated about 40% life remaining. You got just under half.
Okay.
Just under half left back here is what you got.
All right. And so, and the other side's fine as far as the pad goes and the rotor, but you're wanting to replace the caliper.
Yeah, I would do that just for peace of mind. And the reason why, again, I would do that actually is to prevent the situation that happened on the right front right now. Okay? Because if I install new brake rotors, new brake pads, and you have an issue with this caliper, it's going to ruin those parts. And you have to buy them over again.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Okay.
Alright. So we're talking $658.34 to really get it fixed right this time. Now when they say that there's a defect in that caliper and hose, I know it's the truth because I had the exact same thing happen. Remember when I said I had my brakes worked on in Florida back in February? That happened then too. So that defective caliper has effectively killed its second set of pads and rotors. So it's about time it gets replaced. It's going to make it hard to get down to Florida in time to get set up for the fair. But it's got to be done. You got to do what you got to do. Now when I say it's going to be hard to get to Florida in time, that's because they have to order those calipers and they're not coming in until tomorrow morning. So
it might not be ready when you get there.
John here is one of my friends, local friends. He actually organizes the Banks of the Wabash Festival, and I stayed at his place for a couple of the first 2 years.
Was it 2 or 3?
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was just the first 2 years.
Okay.
I worked at the Banks of the Wabash. I roomed with him and Sarah and Patrick, the spray painters, and they've quit now. Unfortunately,
they're in Florida now.
They're in Florida. They live in Florida.
Or else they're right on the border there, maybe in Georgia. I'm not sure exactly where they're settled.
Yeah. So he's been nice enough to. He's going to drive me back to Bridgeton to my camper, and then back to the repair shop tomorrow. So I really appreciate that. Of course, I'm compensating him with a little gas money. We're stopping out here at the Clabber Girl. This is actually part of a Clabber Girl museum. Clabber Girl baking powder, because Terre Haute is the birthplace of Clabber Girl. We're going in here to get a peanut butter cookie. They're famous for that as well. Clabber Girl is the largest baking powder manufacturer in the world. The museum goes all back this way. I'm not going to do that today. Just giving you guys a little bit of a preview of something I'm going to cover during the Banks of the Wabash next year. But they have a really nice little counter here. Gonna get some of these. Look at those. giant peanut butter cookies. Okay, there's a big mural that's been added to the wall of what is going to be the new History Museum out here in Terre Haute, next to the college. And this sign right here is commemorating the fact that Terre Haute was the place where the very first Coke bottle was designed. There was a contest for them to, different glass companies, to come up with a design that they could patent and make the official Coke bottle. And the, what was the name of the glass company out here that did it? You don't remember?
I believe it was the Root Glass Company.
Root Glass. They came up with the official Coke bottle, which is still used even to today. Now it's all plastic, but it is still the exact same shape that was came up with.
And they still do bottle some in glass, but not too many.
They do a little bit. The Coke bottles from the Spanish markets are still done in cane sugar in glass bottles. So if you want a real authentic Coca-Cola Classic experience, go to a Spanish market. They got the best stuff. So does
the Coke in glass is a little better tasting.
Yeah. So I might cover that in a little more detail next year during the Banks of the Wabash. Again, there's some good history out here in Terre Haute that I could cover. Some of it actually has to do with the mob, believe it or not. Y'all do have a little bit of mob history, don't you?
Terre Haute was
Terre Haute.
in I think it was Time magazine, or maybe it was Look magazine. It was in 1955, I believe, was referred to. It was called Sin City.
Oh, really?
Because of the prostitution and the mob connections.
There was some serious mob connections
Yes.
out here. And back in Greenville, well, no, it's not Greenville. Johnson City. Back in Johnson City, Tennessee, from the tri-state area where I live, there's a festival called the Little Chicago, and that's because there was a mobster, I'm forgetting his name, Al Capone or one of them, that would go take a vacation and pass through Tennessee, and he liked to stop for the night in Johnson City. He really liked that little city. He would spend a little time there, and he got to calling it Little Chicago. And now we have the Little Chicago Festival. So,
Well, and to add to that,
yeah,
there is a town 18 miles north of here on Highway 41 called Clinton, Indiana. And Clinton, Indiana was also known as Little Chicago.
Clinton, Indiana.
Yes.
And what was the reason for that?
Because evidently the mobsters like that for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's
They
an
have-
Italian town.
Oh. Huh.
It was primarily settled by, I don't know what the percentage was, but it was a really high percentage of Italians that settled there. And they still have a festival called the Little Italy Festival there.
Little Italy. That would be a good idea for a series. Is just go from all these little mob towns and just get some accounts of some folklore, local lore history of the mob in different places like that. It is now the next day, Wednesday, October the 23rd, 2018. Just got out of the repair shop about 9 o'clock in the morning. It turns out they were able to get it fixed last night, but they couldn't call me because I was out in Bridgeton, out of coverage. I really need to get myself a Wii boost or something to make sure that I get coverage in these large dead zones that I work in sometimes, as it's putting a damper on my business. Anyway, it's paid for. $660. Got my truck back. I'm gonna go do a little driving around Terre Haute, just to make good and sure everything feels right before I go hitching up the trailer and getting on the road. Well, I'm in Terre Haute, so on my test drive around, why not go give Disc Replay one more try. This time I actually found some things that were reasonably priced and looked like I would eventually play and have a lot of fun with. I got Veggie World, a shooter or a shmup for the Nintendo DS. I don't think I've ever seen this one before, and it was very cheap, very good gameplay. Also, I got Line Rider 2 Unbound for the Wii. This was a really good mobile game, then became a really good DS game, and now finally the second one, a puzzle game for the Wii. I'm sure I'll probably spend a few hours on that one eventually. But the thing that I was really proud of, really happy to finally find, I've been having my eye out for this for a while, is The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton. I think this was her first really significant role that kind of springboarded her into the famous icon that she is today. And also Burt Reynolds from Smokey and the Bandit, right there. And I believe this was actually the movie where she had her implants put in for the role, and she got so much attention for it that she just left them in, and that became her signature look from this point on. I've been wanting to see this movie for a while. Finally gonna get to see it. I am also getting an oil change before I start this long trip, because I am very much due for an oil change. Just a quick little word of warning, guys. I ended up paying 50 bucks for the high mileage oil to get the oil changed, which is about $10 more than what I'm used to back in Tennessee. But while I was here, they tried to sell me on getting the rear differential fluid changed. And I was just like, ugh, how much is that? They said it would be $85 to get it changed, which is actually typical for the rear diff. So at first I told them no, because I didn't want to have to pay all that all at once. But then I got to thinking, I'm driving down to Florida towing something. If the rear diff fluid needs to be changed, I should probably do it. So I told them to pull the plug out and give me a sample of the fluid on the inside. That's where they take it and they rub it, they get a dab of it on their finger and they rub it onto a white piece of paper so you can see the color of the oil and the fluid, and you can look at it, and there's actual charts where you can tell if it's bad or not. And so I had them do that, and when they brought it in to me, it was not bad. It was not bad. And they tried to make the excuse that they had recommended it to me because of my mileage. But the thing is I'm at Grease Monkey. I am out of town at a franchise I have never been to before, out here in Terre Haute, Indiana, at Grease Monkey. I have no history here, so they have no idea at all how long it's been since my last change. They don't have any record of that. That is, unless they have some kind of record with Carfax, which I don't think they do. So realistically, they were just trying to upsell me. They were just trying to make more money off of me, which we've all heard of oil change places doing this kind of thing. It's been something that's been in the news a lot recently, and it looks like I have encountered it too. I have found a place, Grease Monkey out here, that tried to upsell me on an $85 charge that I did not need. If you guys see a Grease Monkey, don't go in there. Do not give them any business at all, because these guys will cheat you. They tried to play me for a chump, and they lost. Well, we're on the road. Well, it's exactly 3 o'clock now, and I've got the camper completely travel ready and hitched up and ready to hit the road. Headed down to Lake City, Florida for the Columbia County Fair. According to Google Maps, it's going to take 13 hours. And I am not going to be able to drive straight through with that. I'm going to have to stop somewhere tonight, probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, boondock at a Cracker Barrel or a Walmart. And thankfully this year, as depressed as I got last year down in Lake City, Florida, as much as I do not like that fair, but I make money there, this year I've got friends waiting on me. And of course I'm talking about Miss Danielle Fries from Keys to the Basement, and Kelvin and all the rest of the gang down there. They've been waiting on me. Actually, I'm sure they would have liked for me to get there a little bit earlier. Sorry guys, you saw what I ran into. I had some distractions, but I am on my way now, and I really look forward to seeing you guys there. Don't forget to smash the like button. Leave comments and questions and suggestions. Request, share this vlog around. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you'll start receiving notifications. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.